o'clock, then it's time for the Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WYWY Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950. As always, you can stream us live as well on WYWYradio.com. We are live here at the Chevrolet Showroom at Falls Oliver in Corbin, Kentucky, located off 25E and the Corbin Bypass. Good evening, Wildcat fans. I am your host, JT Elliott, public address announcer for the Lynn Camp Wildcat football program. Now tonight, I am not joined alongside the coach himself, Mr. Alan Harris. He is down his back, got a few back problems today. We wish him the best. Pray for him actually on the way down from Lexington this afternoon, so some supportive prayers for Coach Harris there would be appreciated. But we are joined alongside assistant coach, Coach McCoy, and freshman Eric Mitchell. Coach McCoy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Now, first, tell us a little bit about yourself. Familiarize yourself a little bit with the listening audience.
Well, I've worked in the Knox County school system for about 5 years. I'm retired mine this year, and started coaching this year at Lynn Camp with Coach Harris. Actually started back in the spring for the spring football and spring workouts. And my football history, I played in college. I played at Carson Newman College for a year, and then I played at James Madison University for a couple of years, a long time ago. So I help with linebackers and defensive ends, mainly, and then I'm the head coach of the JV football team.
Now, Carson Newman and James Madison, you hear those names, and respect automatically comes to mind of those two schools.
They're good programs.
They very much are. And if you've never been by James Madison's stadium, if you're in the area, it's worth to check out. It is very large for a school of that size. Those stadiums keep getting bigger and bigger for those D1 or 1AA schools.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than it was when I played there, but it's grown a lot. Yes.
Now, your agenda for tonight, Wildcat fans, will have your weekly Wildcat report where we review last Friday's matchup against the Clinton County Bulldogs. We'll go over the coach's clipboard where we go over the game plan for this upcoming week's district contest versus the Pineville Mountain Lions as district play now begins. We'll take a program highlight look where we take a look at the components which make up the Wildcat football program. We'll have your campers flashback where we turn back time and look at some of the teams that have worn the orange and black. Tonight we go way back to the first 4 years of Wildcat football. That would be 1948, 1950, 1953, and 1954, so the first 4 years of the orange and black. And we'll go around campus with all the happenings at Lynn Camp schools. We also have a special invitation out to Miss Crystal Miller, who is one of the cheerleading coaches. Hopefully she'll swing by a little bit later so we can talk to her about the cheerleading program at Lynn Camp. Now we'll jump right into it, the weekly Wildcat report. It was not the result that we wanted last week, but it was a hard-fought game against the Clinton County Bulldogs. Campers fall in defeat only by 2 points, 28-26 to Clinton County. Coach McCoy, let's walk through that contest. First, tell us a little bit about the first quarter, because it started off very well off the first play, correct?
Yes, we came out as terrible weather. The raining really hard, the wind was blowing. It was the first really cold game we've had. We started off, we took the ball, first play from scrimmage, Dalton Cook ran over 60 yards for a score, and put us up 6-0 there, 2-point conversion, did fail. And so we played pretty well. We had, it was a game in the first half of us controlling the game, but then making mistakes, turnovers that cost us some possessions and some problems in that half. We scored, went ahead 6-0. Then we fumbled, and we fumbled, and they got the ball in their red zone. They scored, and they got a 2-point conversion. They got back to 6. And then we were driving, we were running the ball on, and we were every time we would get down close, we would have a turnover. We had 6 total turnovers in the game, so that's what killed us. We actually dominated the game pretty good.
Now, I see on my notes here, in the second quarter, there was 9 minutes left in that half, and you're down 14-6, but you closed that 14-12. So talk about going into halftime, about what that score to close the gap meant for the program.
Well, when we scored before the half, we felt like we knew we were dominating on the ground. We knew that our defense was stopping. We had a good game plan. And we felt like we were handling them pretty well. We knew that we made a couple of mistakes that put us behind. So we talked to the team at halftime and told them, we know we're a better team. We know we can beat this team. And so we come out in the mistakes and let's win. And so we came out the second half and still dominated them. But yet we had the turnovers and they scored a couple more touchdowns. And early in the fourth quarter, we were behind 28-18. And we were down 10 points and we came back, we got a touchdown and brought us back to the 28-26. We didn't stop, and at the end of the game, we had the ball on the 2 or 3 yard line, and we reached out.
As they say, if there was just one more play, it probably would have been a different outcome for the Campers. Now, what did Coach Harris and the rest of the coaching staff say to the players after that game? Because it's a long day, long trip over. You play very hard. You should have won the game. You come out on the opposite end. I'm sure heads were low. So what did he say maybe to boost that morale?
Well, we talked to the team after the game. I talked to them. Coach Harris talked to them. All the coaches talked to them. Basically, I think they took this loss harder than the other two that we had. They seemed to be really down. They took it very hard. We tried to tell them that we outplayed them. But we've made some good mistakes. We've got to eliminate those mistakes going into district play. And we talked to our heads up and to keep trying. We saw one of the most promising thing I saw at the end of the game. We kept fighting and playing. At the end of it, we managed the clock. We were on the last 6 or 7 minutes. And at the end of the game, we were right down there driving to score. We didn't panic. The team was together. They were really playing hard. And I think that's a good sign.
That is, because you have to keep your composure, especially in those district games where now really it's 0-0. Everybody's district record is 0-0. And these next 3 games are the big ones.
Yeah, our spot in the playoffs depends on these next 3 games. They're our big games.
Absolutely. Now, it was a long trip over to Clinton County. That's over in western Kentucky. There were a few pit stops on the way that I thought were great opportunities for the players to experience. Talk a little about, first, even though we get a lot of love from University of Cumberland and Union College, we also got to stop at another college at Lindsey Wilson and talk about that experience.
Well, that was a great experience for these kids, and for me. I had never been to inside Lindsey Wilson's facility, and we got actually a Lynn Camp player that's playing. And so we wanted to go and see their facility. They have a beautiful field. You can see it from the Cumberland Parkway. And it's they're recruiting. Their head recruiter met us and talked to us a little bit and took us to the facility. Their locker room was huge and beautiful, and we really enjoyed the field. We got to go out on the field and walk around. And if it was pouring the rain, we were going to do a walkthrough on the field, but it was raining, and so we didn't get to do the walkthrough. We did get out on the field and look around, and we toured the locker room facilities and saw their all their signs they have to inspire the players, things like that. Really interesting. And interestingly, over each locker they had the players' name and number and where he's from. So they got to see how many players were from Kentucky and how many were from Florida, and you compete against guys from all over the place, good football players when you go to community college. And so it's very interesting, very enjoyable for me. I think all the players really like it. And we've got some players that we hope that inspires. We got some players that can play. And that's there. We hope that they want to. So we want to see them.
I think your hometown pride never leaves the way. I remember Randall Cobb, who played for the University of Kentucky now, Pro Bowler in the NFL, had a tattoo of Alcoa, Tennessee on him because his heart was still, in his hometown. So that never leaves you. Now, and Lindsey Wilson, for people who don't know, that program just started in 2010, and right now they're ranked #1 in the nation in NAI. Unbelievable to do that.
4 years, 5 years, that is great. They have a lot of good players, and they have great facilities, and I'm sure that's a help.
It is a beautiful facility.
We were very appreciative of them taking us through.
If you're driving towards Western Kentucky, Bowling Green, maybe checking out the Corvette Museum or going to Nashville, it's worth to slow down and see. It is a beautiful facility. Now, there was one other pit stop, I believe, was there to a Civil War battleground?
No, it was, we actually went and we went down to Sergeant Alvin York's home place, Pall Mall, Tennessee. And Sergeant York, if you know, he was the most highly decorated combat soldier in World War I, and he was a conscientious objector and won the Medal of Honor, Distinguished Service Cross. He was a tremendous American hero, and he's a very revered figure in the state of Tennessee, and for all history buffs, especially military history like me, they really like Alvin York. And so I had been to his home place several times, and we went down there and went through his farm and his grist mill and things. Actually went through a walkthrough at the state park there at Alvin York's home place.
That is a memory. That would be something that the players talk about when you know they're 30 years old and coming to the games and so forth as alumni. The time that we did warm-ups at State Park.
Yeah, did a walkthrough at State Park.
That's neat. Now, as we always say every week, the past is the past. When we come back from our commercial break, it's all about the present. We'll go over the coach's clipboard, break down all the X's and O's to victory for this Friday night's matchup against the Pineville Mountain Lions. You're listening to Eric Mitchell, Coach McCoy, and JT on the Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WYWY Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950.
Get an all-American deal from folks that you can trust. Made right here in the USA, all-American cars and trucks. They just don't talk the talk, they walk the walk. At Falls Auto Group, you'll feel the difference.
Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WYWY Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950. We're at Falls Auto Group every Monday at 5 o'clock in the Chevy showroom. So are you a Ford lover like Coach McCoy, or are you a Chevrolet lover like Eric Mitchell? Either way, Falls Auto Group has you covered. Check them out at fallsautogroup.com. They have Chevrolet, GMC, Cadillac, Buick, Lincoln, and Ford. You can call them toll free, 1-800-566-5669, or locally, that's 528-1904. Now, one thing we forgot to do, and that's my fault, is we didn't go over stats of last week. We've got to give love to the offensive and defensive sides of the ball. So, Coach McCoy, if you'll take it away with the defense first there, please, sir.
Okay, after I watched the film, I was going through the game, I was dumbfounded how we lost. Our defense held them to 68 yards rushing and 33 yards passing for 101 total yards. That was how much Clinton County got against us. We were led by Caleb Gray with 7 tackles. Dalton Cook had 6 tackles. Tracy Fee had 3 tackles, and a host of others had 1 or 2 tackles. So we played very well on defense. Anytime you hold a team to around 100 yards total offense, that's a good defensive effort. And so that I thought we played really well. We had good penetration. They didn't pass hardly any against us. We had good pressure on the quarterback.
Let's do that.
And so I thought our defense played really well. We were pretty well pleased with that. Our ends and backers, which is what I coach, I thought looked pretty good. Caleb Gray had the best team, the best game of this year, and I suspect one of the best games he's ever played. He really played fine.
Now, we had Caleb on last week, and he said that, I said, who do you model yourself after as a linebacker? Lawrence Taylor is the name that came out.
Yeah, he likes Lawrence Taylor. He's not quite as fast as Taylor, but he's a very good linebacker for high school. He's a very great kid, too. We really enjoy having Caleb on our team.
Now, what about the offensive side of the ball? There was one player in particular who had a career night. Go ahead into the offensive stats.
We had 429 yards total offense. Dalton Cook, our running back, carried 35 times for 320 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's a big night. That's a great night for him. He was our leading rusher anyway. Brenton Medlin carried 4 times for 65 yards, and then we had 3 of 9 passing for 46 yards and 2 interceptions. Our stats, we really dominated that team. We had 429 yards of total offense.
And it's hard for
ran
I saw it.
Okay.
I'm 100% sure.
All right, thank you.
Interceptions, so we turned the ball over. That was the probably the most important statistic of this was the very disappointing.
Now, on the positive end, Dalton Cook, let's talk a little bit about him. He has been, I think most media outlets in the Tri-County area should without a doubt hand him Newcomer of the Year award, Freshman of the Year, because he's probably pretty close to 1,000 yards already now. I'd say he's probably around the 700 mark.
Yeah, he should be better than that. I think he was at right at 600 before last game.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken, he was 560, something like that. I'm not much on individual stats either because I like the team aspect, but this kid is a great football player. He's got great balance. He's a tough runner. He's not real big, but he's very tough, quick, great football sense, great football IQ. So he's fun to watch, and he's a really enjoyable football player to be around.
And he's just a freshman, but
Just a freshman.
But to be able to run that many yards, that means some people have to be blocking. Talk a little bit about the line.
The line is to me, our offensive line is one of the strengths of our team. And we've been trying to get them to play together. I think they all have pretty good individual efforts. But our offensive line, we have 6 guys that played in the rotation. Christian Meadows, Brandon Vaughn, Trenton Phipps.
James Schmidt.
I know I call them by their nicknames. Walt, James Mill. Anyway, we had several guys playing. They all played really well. They picked up their blocks well. They drove the other team back, and our offensive line is one of the strengths of the team. And I thought they played very well. I couldn't really pick out any one that did fantastic, but they all picked their blocks up. I didn't see anybody really get beat really bad. That's unusual. Usually you have a lineman that will get beat every now and then. But no, they all played pretty well.
I agree with you. I've covered this team for 4 years now, and this is the best the line has looked in the 4 years that I've covered. Now, let's get to the present, folks. Let's get to our coach's clipboard. We're breaking down all the X's and O's to victory against this Friday's contest against the district opponent, the Pineville Mountain Lions. They are coached by Bart Elam, who's the head coach of the Mountain Lions, former quarterback at Knox Central and Union College, also a former teammate of mine in middle school. We were county champions in 7th and 8th grade, just want to throw that out. He inherited a program that was struggling, and he's definitely sailed the ship there at Pineville. Many media outlets predicting the Mountain Lions to win district this year. Now, I do know they do run a lot of the Tony Franklin system. If you're not familiar with that, that basically means they're going to line up at the line of scrimmage, they're going to read the defense and call play. The key to the Tony Franklin system is to get a busted play, a big play. So, Coach, how do you stop the Mountain Lion attack?
Well, you're right. They've been running this system for a while. One of my best friends is been one of their middle school coaches for many years, and he's had their current quarterback Tucker Willem, and his son played quarterback for him. So they've been running this system for a while. They know how to run it well. They do a lot of reads. They spread it out. They run 4 wide a lot. They run twins. They throw the ball all over the field. Their quarterback, Tucker Willem, is probably one of the best players in our district. He's a very good football player. He's a junior, 3rd year as a starter. And so how do we stop them? Well, it's the same way you stop any good offense like that. The first thing you have to do is get pressure on the quarterback. So we're going to try that. We have a couple of pretty good pass rushers. We're going to try to bring pressure on the quarterback. We are going to try to run press coverage with people that we can use in that type of coverage. That means man-to-man, play up close with our corners, and then we'll run some sort of rotating man-to-man on their inside guys. Their defense, though, I think the underrated part of their team is their defense. They're very quick. They got some linebackers that'll hit you. I've known those boys for a long time. I've known a lot of players on the Pineville team. My best friend lives in Pineville, so I know a lot of those kids. They're a very good football team. We have to bring pressure on the quarterback. We have to pick out their best receivers and cover them, and not leave them when they start scrambling. If you leave your receiver, he's going to throw.
Leave him open.
Yeah, and he's a very good runner. Tucker's a good runner, so you have to contain him, and you have to maintain coverage on the receivers. To me, though, the best way to defeat Pineville is to hold the ball. We need to use, and that's why I mentioned specifically our offensive line. We need to control the ball. We need to have long drives. We need to eat up a lot of clock. While he can't score points against us if he's over on the sidelines with a clipboard. So that's the way we want to do it. We're going to bring pressure on the quarterback, stay with our men until the whistle blows and on pass defense, and then control the ball on offense.
And all good quarterbacks eventually make a mistake. Even Peyton Manning throws an interception, so you hopefully get him running one way, throws across his body, and pick six is what we're hoping.
Well, you don't want to. We can't let him stand back there and pick us apart. We have to put some heat on him, and we have to make him do something he don't want to do. Throwing across his body is perfect. We need to run him to his left and make him throw back to the right. There's certain things you can do that we intend on doing to him, and not to give away too much of our game plan, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to put heat on him, and we're going to cover his receivers.
Now, they also have a good running back in Brad Fuson.
He's very good.
That gives them a good threat to run. So how do you balance defending both the run and the pass?
Well, mainly we'll defend the run by getting penetration off the line of scrimmage with our down line with big on big. And then our linebackers, of course, will play the run, the inside backers. And so that's the way we'll do it. We'll have certain guys, certain backers keying on the running back Fuson, and then the other guys will be keying on the quarterback. And then, of course, you got your coverage guys and the receivers. But they have a very good offense. They score fast. What worries me more about their offense than anything is the speed at which they play. They run no huddle. They have 4 or 5 options every play. And so we're going to have to be ready. And we're going to have our hats on to play hard. This is not going to be a team that's going to grind it out where you have 30 seconds between each play. They're going to run it fast.
But like we said, it's 0-0 now. These are district games. Doesn't matter if you're 7-0 or 1-6. It's 0-0 in district play. Now, one last question about Pineville. You mentioned defensively that they were strong. What defensive scheme do they run? Do they run a 5-front basically all year?
They ran a 5-front against us on the JV game, but I think the film I looked at, they run both a 4-front and a 5-front. They run a base 44, which is 4 linemen and 4 linebackers, and cover 3. That's the way we're scheming. We figure they're going to run a base 44 against us. That seems to be their base. They do run a 5-man front, and they bring a linebacker pretty often out of their 5-man front. So we'll be ready for that.
I like hearing cover 3 with Dylan Brown. Dylan Brown can do some work with cover 3.
Yeah, if it's not raining, he don't like the rain. But Dylan's a very good quarterback, and I think everybody talks about Tucker Woolham. I think our quarterback is underrated. He's a good athlete.
Absolutely. And that was your coach's clipboard. We broke down all the X's and O's to victory for this Friday's contest against the Pineville Mountain Lions. We'll be right back, Lynn Camp fans, with the program highlights right here on 93.3 FM and AM 950 WYWY Radio.
Somewhere right on the corner, right on the price, an old rivalry continues.
Hey, let me show what Lincoln has to offer.
Cadillac can do you better.
My Lincoln Touch.
Cadillac user experience with haptic feedback.
6 years, 70,000-mile powertrain warranty.
The all-new Cadillac CTS-V pushing 556 horsepower.
Park assist.
Roadside assistance.
So which side performs the best? You decide at Falls Auto Group. Right on the corner, right on the price. North US Highway 25,
Fans,
Corbin.
Falls Auto Group and the Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WYWY Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950. You can always catch the show on YouTube on the Falls Auto Group channel. Be sure to search for that on YouTube in case you want to catch up on the shows or see Coach McCoy's face or Eric Mitchell's face or my lovely face anytime on YouTube. Now, since we have Coach McCoy in this house tonight, we want to talk a little bit about the junior varsity program because they've had a lot of success this year. And Coach McCoy, I'll let you take it away about JV, about how that's been this season.
Okay, well, we think that any good program has to have a good JV team. They need some extra reps. They need game situations. So we play guys on the junior varsity team that are freshmen and sophomores that usually don't start on the varsity some, maybe one or two of them do, but most of the time in a small school, a small program like Pineville or Lynn Camp, a lot of your JV players also play on the varsity team. But you have to have those JV games. They need that game experience. And so we're only going to play 4 or 5 games this year on the JV. We've played 3. We want to play 1 or 2 more. We would like to get a full slate next year. We think it's good for our program, good for the development of young players. So we're very excited about our JV program here at Lynn Camp. We played, our first game was at Jackson County. We played at home. We beat them 40-0, and we played a very good game. I mean, I don't think anybody expected us to be that good. Our defense was strong. We shut them down tight. We had a couple of interceptions. We had fumbles. We were on top of things there. Played a very good game. Then we played North Laurel, and they beat us. They're a 5A school. They brought they probably brought 40 or 50 guys, and they did beat us. But we outscored them, or they outscored us in the last half 3 touchdowns to 2. So we felt like that we played the whole game. We never quit. And I was proud of our kids for not panicking, not getting frustrated, not having any of these silly personal fouls or anything. We played like a classy football team should. We got beat by a much bigger team. Then we played Pineville, and we won the game 22-16, and we were up 22-8 at the half. And Eric threw a touchdown, and Brenton Medlin, a sophomore, ran for a couple of touchdowns. And our line really played well in that Pineville game. And they ran the same offense that their varsity runs, although not the same skill. But I thought our JV played very, very well. We've had some very solid junior varsity performers. Mitchell here is one of them. And we don't play, Dalton Cook, for instance, who's a true freshman, don't play on our JV team. But we've had Brenton Medlin, who's a sophomore, does play. He's had a couple of really good JV games. And then our linemen, we've had some linemen that have really played well. Cameron Hendricks, Christian Meadows. We've had some guys on the line in the JV team that really look promising, that are young freshmen and sophomore linemen, and we think the future at Lynn Camp looks pretty good for the line. And we have some good backs too, so we're well pleased with our JV team.
And a lot of people always mention middle schools are feeder programs, but you feed right into the junior varsity, which feeds right into the varsity. That feeder goes all the way through till graduation, really.
Yes, it does, and we've got some 7th and 8th graders who I've watched play that you know, as freshmen next year, some of them are going to see action. We've got a couple of linemen that are really impressive in the 8th grade that we're looking forward to getting on our varsity team. I'm looking forward to having them on the JV team if I'm lucky enough to be the JV coach next year. But we think we've got a good program. That the 7th and 8th grade team has probably 30 guys, 40 guys on it. That's in the 5th and 6th grade has the same. They've looked very good. So we think our program is running in the right direction. The interest is good, and the players seem to be excited. That's where we want to go.
Now, one other question is, correct me if I'm wrong here with KHSAA, but this year you have the 8-quarter rule, correct? Where you can only play, a player can only play 8 quarters, I believe. So that,
I believe so, yes.
That includes varsity, JV, freshmen. So if a freshman comes out, let's say they play 4 quarters of freshman, they play 4 quarters of JV, they can't play varsity. So
right.
You do have to manage that a lot more this year, especially for a program like Lynn Camp, which is a smaller school, and you've got a smaller, obviously, student population. Well, like you said, Dalton Cook and many others play 4 quarters Friday night, so you do have to manage that. So that goes into coaching choices.
Excuse me. I think that's one reason we don't have more JV games in these smaller programs is, you know, if you have 9 or 10 JV games, where I played high school football in Virginia, and we had a 9 to 10 game JV schedule every year, and we had playoffs, and we played, you know, all the time. And I think that, but no guys that play JV ever played varsity. Maybe one guy, because you would dress 75 or 80 people on the varsity team. And so here, where we're dressing 35, to field a JV team of 25 guys, you know, it makes it pretty difficult. We need more people in our program. If you walk around Lynn Camp, all the coaches there say that, you know, there's probably another complete football team walking around as far as looking at athletes. in the school. So we want to get more people involved, and the way you do that's your middle school and your JV program.
And you talk about scheduling, like Jackson County 3A, North Laurel 5A, and of course Pineville 1A. So only one team really in your classification. And we've talked about this before about school consolidation. It has really hurt these 1A schools as far as scheduling. Even if you look at Williamsburg High School, another 9-game season because of scheduling issues, because there's not as many 1A schools that are around anymore to play. You've seen Harlan County consolidate, even Bell County in the 80s consolidating. So that's just where the nature of the beast right now.
It does.
The JV program, again, it has had a great season. Got one more left against Pineville again.
We play Pineville again at Pineville, and I hope we can be 3-0 against them. You know, the JV be 2-0 and the varsity be 1-0. Really, truly, I really want to beat those people again. They're a fine program. Bart's a great coach, and they run a good program, and I know a lot of people over there, so I really want to beat them. That's what we're aiming for.
It's a good rivalry game.
It is a very good rivalry.
Make the trip to Pineville, support both the JV and the varsity. Again, this Friday night is the big varsity matchup, district contest against the Pineville Mountain Lions. When we come back, we're going to have a special interview with one of those JV players slash freshman slash JV slash varsity player. Eric Mitchell is in the house to talk to us a little bit. You're listening to the Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WIWI Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950 at
Question number 1. Where can you shop Fords and Chevys conveniently in one location?
Falls Auto Group?
That is correct. Question number 2. Where do you get free car washes for life when you purchase a vehicle?
Falls Auto Group?
That is correct. Final question. Where are you going to buy your next car or truck?
Falls Auto Group.
Correct. Let's show him what he won.
Right on the corner, right on the price. Go to fallsautogroup.com.
Coaches Show on WIWI Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950. Broadcasting live from the Chevy showroom at Falls Auto Group. Also on the Chevy showroom Falls Auto Group YouTube page. You can always catch a previous episode on YouTube on the Falls Auto Group page. You can also, whether you're a Ford lover, GMC lover, either way, Falls Auto Group has you covered. Check them out, fallsautogroup.com. We're joined right now with freshman Eric Mitchell of the Lynn Camp Wildcats. Welcome, Eric, to the show.
Howdy, nice to be here.
Now, even though you're a freshman, talk a little bit about what it means to be a leader for the Wildcat program.
Well, you know, as a freshman, you got your upperclassmen who don't give you as much respect, but then you have, you know, you still want to be able to cheer your team on the sidelines, although you're not going to get as much playing time as some of your upperclassmen. But, you know.
Now, you have got some varsity playing time, though, which is a big deal for a freshman. Now, coming from the middle school program and now that you're playing high school ball, talk about the first time you walked down the catwalk, Howard Stadium, packed house for alumni night, and the first time you're a varsity player. What are the feelings on that Friday night, underneath the Friday night lights?
There's no other feeling like it, to be honest. The crowd, when you're in the Friday night lights. That was my first game as a varsity high school football player, and it's just so exciting. There's nothing like it.
A one-of-a-kind experience, it really is. Now talk about the different level of being a freshman, but you're playing up against sophomores, playing up against juniors, playing up against seniors, people that are 3 or 4 years, you know, older than you. The difference in speed that you see.
The tempo of the game is a whole lot faster than it is in middle school. You know, you're used to playing in middle school, kids around just a year or 2 older than you, and then you get in high school, you got your seniors that are 4 years older than you, and that a lot faster, bigger, and stronger. And all I can say is you got to hit them hard.
And you know, that never changes. I had a friend that went on to Union College, started as a freshman, and we were talking, and he was like, the first play was over in 3 seconds. I couldn't believe it, how fast it went. You know, it's 3 to 5 seconds, and we're on to the next play. So that never goes away when you're playing football. Now, another emphasis, there's a difference in speed, but there's also a difference in what's expected of the players, and one of that is hitting the weight room hard. Talk about that transition from a middle schooler to a high schooler and the importance of the weight room.
Well, you got to be able to commit yourself to the weight room. You got to be able to put the time and effort into it, you know, to better yourself. And you better yourself, you help your team, and that's a lot of work, but it's well worth it on the field.
Now, what's your favorite weight activity? You know, your linemen are all about, I want to bench, I want to bench. What about you?
I like squatting, to be honest. That's probably my favorite.
Squatting is my least favorite. But now, a lot of people are saying about the bright future that is at Lynn Camp. There are many names that are thrown out there that we've talked about already. But what are your future goals for your class at Lynn Camp?
My future, I would like to win a state championship at Lynn Camp. I'd like to be able to go with a team and win a state championship for the first time. Lynn Camp's never done it before. I'd like to be one of the first to do it.
As the slogan I always said, you know, try to reach for the moon because you'll land among the stars. You have to set goals high, and I love that you've got the highest of the high goal. You might as well reach for the highest goal possible. Now, many players have different pregame traditions. Some are really chill. They just sort of, you know, put their headphones on and they just listen to whatever their music is. Others have different traditions that they have to do. What are your pregame traditions, Eric?
My pregame traditions are I jump around, psych myself up, and be ready to play football.
So you're not one that conserves that energy, I don't think.
Heck no, I'm like the Energizer Bunny, buddy. I'm bouncing around there going crazy.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, that was freshman Eric Mitchell of your Lynn Camp Wildcats. When we get back, we're going to take a look at some of the previous players that have worn the Wildcat jersey. We're going to go to our Campers Flashback when we come back. You're listening to the Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WY Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950.
Get an all-American deal from folks that you can trust. Made right here in the USA, all-American cars and trucks. They just don't talk the talk, they walk the walk. At Falls Auto Group, you'll feel the difference.
The Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WY Radio, AM 950 and FM 93.3 FM. And as always, on the Falls Auto Group YouTube page, you can catch a previous episode there. We're in our Campers Flashback segment. We're going to look back at the 1948, 1950, 1953, and 1954 teams. Those are the first 4 years of the Wildcat football program. And who coached the Wildcats at that time? Many people would say David Mitchell, but you're wrong about that. Who coached them? We don't know. It's not in the history books. It's not in the yearbooks. So the coaches are unknown on those 4 programs. Now, 1948. It might have been the first year for the Wildcat programs, but they did very well. They were 6-3 that year. 1948, also a big year. It was NASCAR's first race at Daytona Beach. So 2 big events there, Daytona and the Wildcat program starting. In 1950, you had the Yankees winning the World Series. The Minneapolis Lakers won the NBA title, and the Horse Middle Ground won the Kentucky Derby. It was also the first championship for the Wildcat program. They were 7-0-1, and they were the CVC champions. In 1953, they were 3-4-1, and in 1954, 4-4-1. Those are the first 4 years of Wildcat football. When we come back, we're going to go around campus with all your Lynn Camp schools, news, and announcements. You're listening to the Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WY Radio, AM 950. And FM 93.3.
Somewhere right on the corner, right on the price. An old rivalry continues.
Hey, let me show what Lincoln has to offer.
Cadillac can do you better.
My Lincoln Touch.
Cadillac user experience with haptic feedback.
6 years, 70,000-mile powertrain warranty.
The all-new Cadillac CTS-V pushing 556 horsepower.
Park Assist.
Roadside assistance.
So which side performs the best? You decide at Falls Auto Group. Right on the corner, right on the price. North US Highway 25, Corbin.
WY Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950. Always streaming live on WYRadio.com. And as always, on the Falls Auto Group YouTube page. It's time to go around campus. Governor Scholar Program, Knox County Juniors, you are invited to participate in the educational opportunity of a lifetime, the Governor Scholars Program. The Governor Scholars Program is a summer residential program for outstanding high school students in Kentucky who are rising seniors. Students who are selected attend the 5-week program without any charge, so it is a free program. You can check out the Knox County Public School website for more information. and go to gsp.ky.gov for more information as well, and to download an application. Also, Daniel Boone Festival is coming up. As someone who grew up in Barberville, I always loved Daniel Boone Festival. Knox County Schools will be closed this Thursday and Friday, as well as next Monday in observance of Daniel Boone Festival. Be sure to check that out. Our volleyball cats, gotta always give love to the ladies. The volleyball cats, they're playing at home tonight, so when the program ends, be sure to come by Falls Auto Group, get yourself a sweet ride. There's still a Mustang over there, I believe, that's orange and black, that some Lynn Camp alum needs to purchase. So they play Redbird tonight, the Lady Cats do, at 6 o'clock. And then October 8th, they play the Green Dragons from Harlan at 6 o'clock. So be sure to support your Lady Volleyball Cats. And finally, your K-Prep State Accountability scores came out last week, and a number of Knox County schools earned top rankings in state accountability by the Department of Education. Lynn Camp Elementary earned the distinction of being classified as a proficient school. So a round of applause for Lynn Camp Elementary. Lynn Camp Elementary was having the greatest overall increase in scores compared to the previous year, and they have been labeled as well high progress school. And Lynn Camp Middle School has been deemed as progressing by the Department of Education. So a big round of applause for Lynn Camp schools on the academic side, not just on the hardwood and on the field, but also in the classroom. When we come back, we're going to talk to Coach McCoy about the keys to victory. You're listening to the Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WYWY Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950.
Question number 1. Where can you shop Fords and Chevys conveniently in one location?
Falls Auto Group?
That is correct. Question number 2. Where do you get free car washes for life when you purchase a vehicle?
Falls Auto Group?
That is correct. Final question. Where are you going to buy your next car or truck?
Falls Auto Group.
Correct. Let's show him what he won.
Right on the corner, right on the price. Go to
Back to
fallsautogroup.com.
Wildcat fans, the Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WYWY Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950. Broadcasting live every Monday at 5 o'clock at the Chevy Showroom at Falls Auto Group. So be sure to come on down, check out Falls Auto Group and all the nice rides they have for sale. Now, we've got Coach McCoy in the house tonight, and we're going to get to the keys to victory for this week. Coach McCoy, what has to be done on the playing field to come away with the W this Friday night?
I think we've got 2 things on the field. First, we have to, as we stated earlier, we have to keep pressure on the quarterback. I think we're going to have to make him do some things he's uncomfortable doing, which we think we can do. We're going to have to control the ball on offense and keep him off the field. So I think those are the 2 main keys to victory on the field. I think we have to go over there, as importantly, with a will to win and play as hard as we did in the last quarter against Clinton County, to not quit, to play hard the whole game. And if we can play like we did against Clinton County without the turnovers, we can come away with victory there. Pineville's a good offense, but we think we can score on them, and we think that to beat them will be a big honor. I mean, this is the kind of team we need to be every year. We look forward to having our fans there. That's another key to victory, is the fan support that we have. We're always happy to see them. We got a crowd of people that follows us. It's pretty impressive, really, to tell you the truth. Then my first year involved with the program, I've enjoyed seeing the fans and how they support the team. We always need their support, especially at away games.
Coach Harris calls them the greatest fans in the world.
They are. They're great fans.
Now, be sure this Friday night, Wildcat fans, to make a short drive. All you have to do is get on 25B and make a right turn, and you're at Pineville High School and the football stadium. Make the short drive this Friday night to support your Wildcats on to victory against the Pineville Mountain Lions. We want to extend our get well wishes and prayers to Coach Harris as he recovers through his back problems. And for Eric Mitchell, Coach McCoy, I'm JT Elliott, the voice of the Lynn Camp Wildcat football program. You've been listening to the Lynn Camp Coaches Show on WYWY Radio, 93.3 FM and AM 950. Good night, God bless, and go Cats.